The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Rabbi Shalom said the following. He said he would not have known this story had the person who the story happened to came over to him and asked him to do him a favor. It was a very strange, bizarre favor. His name was Reb Zelig Braverman. Reb Zelig Braverman was known as the Tzaddik Yesod Olam, big matmid, and he was somebody that whenever he heard of a tzara, he acted immediately and then asked questions afterwards. So the story goes is that Reb Zelig came over to Reb Shalom Shaddan and said, I need you to do me a favor. What's the favor? The favor is, between the hour of 10 to 11, I need you to go in this and this address. He gives him an address. He says, the window is slightly ajar, it's slightly open. Could you please climb into the window and clean the dishes? And then when you walk out, just the door will self-lock on its own. But the door, he's like, what? I'm breaking into someone's house. No. Don't ask too many questions. I'm telling you could do it. Okay, Shalom Shaddan's like, okay, fine, all right. He says, Rabbi Zelig Braverman says I should do it. I'll do it. So anyways, he goes to the address. He goes to the side. The window is actually open a little. He's like, okay, maybe it's Rabbi Zelig's house. I don't know what. He opens up the window. He comes in. He sees there's a whole sink piled up with dishes. He's like, okay, I have to clean the dishes. He asked me to clean up the dishes. I'll clean the dishes. Cleans the dishes, spick and span, puts them very nice and neat for there to air dry off on the side. And then he goes to the front door. No clue whose house is. Then as he's walking out, he looks, sometimes they have like that little piece of whatever. On the side it says Mishpachat whatever. He's expecting to see it says Mishpachat Shvadron. I thought it was Reb Shalom Shadron's house. And he sees Mishpachat. It's a totally different name. It's like, okay, this is really bizarre. He shuts the door self-locks. And he goes back to Reb Shalom Shaddan. Reb Shalom Shaddan goes back to Reb Zelig Braverman. He goes, Reb Braverman, can you please tell me what is going on? You have to tell me what's going on. What is going on? Listen to this. Reb Zelig Braverman said, a month and a half ago, I was learning with a man who unfortunately, he started losing his eyesight, whether it was old age, diabetes, whatever, Rahman al-San, he started losing his eyesight. And he was telling his wife about that. I can't see 100%. Stop it. You're just trying to give me excuses. And it was getting more and more difficult for him to get around. So when did he tell his wife that his eyesight was failing? When she asked him to do the dishes. It's like, I'm really sorry, I can't do the dishes. My eyesight's failing. She's like, what are you talking about? Do the dishes right now. And then she made it a point. You better do the dishes. And they started yelling and screaming at each other. You don't understand, I can't see. No, and they started yelling and screaming. Kolot brakim. They don't even know what's going on. And he came and he was very, very depressed. He was very upset. He came into the Beit Midrash and he looked very upset. And Rabbi Braverman looks at him and says, what's wrong? He says, my wife and we got in a fight and I can't see straight and it's really bothering me. And she wanted me to do it. I can't. I want to do the dishes, but I can't. Every time I try to do it, she says, you missed this spot and this thing. And I can't do it. And she thinks I'm trying to get out of it. Rabbi Zelig says, tell me, what does your wife do during the day? He says, well, from 10 till 11:30, she's out of the house because she's a ganenet or something. She has to go away. And I'm here learning. He says, okay, fine. The next day, Rabbi Zelig Braverman and the Chabruta, they're sitting and learning. Suddenly, Rabbi Zelig suddenly got up at 10 o'clock. He goes, do you mind, excuse me, I just have to take care of something. I just have to leave. And he was gone for an hour and a half. He came back 11:15, 11:20, sometimes 11:30, for the next month and a half. And the Chavruta didn't understand what was happening. What happened was, Rabbi Zelig Braverman, every single day, except for Shabbat, he went to that house, saw that the window was open. He wasn't a young man. He snuck into the house, washed the dishes himself, left it there to air dry, and then, when the husband came home, he thought his wife washed the dishes because she felt rachmanot for him. And the wife thought that he felt bad for her, so he was ma'abir shalom b'chol Yisrael. Everyone got along with one another. He did this for a month and a half, and something came up that he couldn't do it, so he had to ask Reb Shalom Shaddan to do that. That's someone that when they hear mishpat, they want to make pshara. Let's make it that it's equitable for everyone. It's shaveh b'shaveh. Everyone can get along. You just make it that everyone gets along.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org